In making a special episode like the Star Wars Phineas and Ferb, where you can use music, is that easier or harder? Is it more of a challenge or less of a challenge to incorporate it? Because you just said you have to make those transitions.
It's more of a challenge because John Williams is he is like the composer of the soundtrack of our lives. I mean, he's the guy. He's like up here. So
Have you ever met him?
I have met him before. Yeah, a long time ago. I'm really good friends with his daughter, actually. That's a long story, though. We don't want to. But she's a really good friend of mine, and I remember having.
You guys dating?
I dated her, actually.
Okay,
but
just wanted to throw that out on
she's
the
a
record.
she's a psychologist, and she's a mother, and she's a wonderful woman.
So dating you drove her to
Listen,
psychology?
I really don't think you should.
Okay, I just want clarity.
I'm trying to be serious.
All right.
Dating her made me think, what is wrong with
Well,
him?
we both love the accordion. So, I had Thanksgiving at his house in the 70s, right when he had finished Superman, in the very late 70s, actually. He wouldn't remember me, but it was wonderful to listen to. He played the soundtrack for us. It's amazing to study his music now and to get their feedback and to produce the songs that they wrote. They wrote 5 songs for this particular episode that I got to produce. And I'm really excited about that.
And we got to going with like a real full.
See how I brought it back to
horn
be serious?
horn section, and real drums, real bass, real guitar, real percussion.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Capitol Records.
They open up the budget weeks. A lot of times on a normal episode, I do everything myself. It's sort of a normal thing for composers with all the sample. We have everything now with all the technology, but when it's a big episode, they let us hire. We hired a big brass section, woodwind section.
Hearing it, we did 2 days over at Capitol Records, and hearing the songs with the live horn.
They got to hear their songs.
You
with
get a little
big orchestra. Yeah,
It's very emotional. I did more than a few times.
Now, when you made the special and everything, you made 5 songs that you said specifically for this special.
Yeah.
Will we ever get to hear these on like a soundtrack or anything?
Yeah, I think you can
They
get
are
it on
available
iTunes.
already. iTunes has got them out.
They released it like Tuesday or something.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
There's an official download.
Okay,
Yeah,
so you've made official soundtracks from your previous episodes before. How did you decide, what was going to be on those soundtracks? It's only because you made so many songs.
Well, on the CDs, on the physical releases, there's like it depends on what the theme is of that release. One of them was about the second dimension, so we put all the second dimension songs on, and then we took a look at all the songs that were since the first release and said, you go through and you say, and it's like, which ones do you like the most? Which ones? Then you take a look and say, okay, we want to showcase as many of the voices as we can. It's like,
There's also things that
sing this one, Phineas sings this.
You don't realize till you listen to them back. A lot of them never got past 45 seconds.
Yeah.
You don't want a CD filled with 45 seconds.
Yes, exactly.
So you start thinking, wait a minute, this actually is a complete song. Or some of them, we've even recorded more of them. So we have extra music that we've had to edit down for broadcast. But we have the whole song. So that's a great opportunity to go, hey, we can let people hear the whole
occasionally
thing.
we've actually lengthened a song. We've written another verse and a bridge to a song.
Harry the Platypus theme.
Harry the Platypus theme, Get You Goo.
Yeah.
We actually wrote longer versions of it specifically for the CD.
Now, are you talking about Harry the Platypus theme or Agent P theme?
Well,
Agent P. Perry, it's the same.
There's a song there. That was one of the first songs that I did for them, which actually landed me the job.
Yeah, that's how he got the job.
It's a Harry Platypus thing.
He had been the guy for Disney that would do little ditties when there was a song in a show. He would always produce it, sometimes write it, and so Jay Stutler at Disney
pitched me to
looking
them.
to him as somebody that I want him to actually be able to compose for a show because he always did such a great job. And so we had written the theme song, and he did a version of it that we liked the best, and that's sort of the one that ended up Bowling for Soup performs it, but it's really his
reimagining of our original.
I saved them on a regular basis.
That's your job.
And he had done that, and then we had the Perry the Platypus theme, which he
I
did
think
this
it was
amazing
Perry and
version of
Gitchy
that,
first, though.
and Get You Goo.
Before the theme.
And those three we played at one of the first pitches for the executives, and they loved it. And they said, "Can you guys write a song for every episode?" And we said, "Yes."
And it's hard for us because of what we do. We're not looking for somebody to bring a consistent style to the show necessarily. Because of all the songs we write, we need somebody who can make that spy theme sound totally spy theme, the 50s commercial sound 50s commercial, and the jazz tune sound completely jazz tune.
The disco scene.
Danny can do that really convincingly.
You know what I found
That's
though,
what made the difference. It's like, well, if he can
these guys are great songwriters. I mean, they're and also I found a lot of people in animation are really good musicians. There's a whole culture in the world of animation with storyboard.
We're the best, right? Okay.
Well, if you wanted to produce something really good and you were doing it all by yourself, I guess back in the early days when you first started doing animation, you kind of had to do every part yourself, which includes the music.
Yeah,
exactly.
But Dan's been in bands his whole life. Swampy's been in bands. He comes from royalty. His grandfather is Les Brown, the famous band leader. They bring a lot to the table musically.
All right. So when you're developing a new episode, you've got 5 or 6. What year are we on?
Well, this is what they
it's
call
been on the air
season.
for like seven years, though.
We've been working on it since 2006.
2006. All right. So how has it evolved over the years, making these episodes, doing the music, and interlacing all these different themes and everything? Is it different now than when you started?
Well, the big advantage now is we don't have to sing these songs into Danny's answering machine on a Friday night and hope that nothing bad happens to the tape, because that's how we used to do it.
And it only got erased once out of all the times. The
And
whole
I did
first
your
season
favor.
we would.
I did your favor on that.
Yeah.
Now we can use GarageBand and create a nice demo.
I used to
that's
sing
saved.
into my phone for the songs over the weekend.
Friday night at about 8 or 9 o'clock, he'd get a call. We'd say, "We're going to call back. Don't answer the phone." And it'd be us going, "Okay, we've got this song. Hang on."
Guitars.
And we'd play it at the end. Go, "Yeah, that just needs to sound like the Sex Pistols make Frank Sinatra in the year
Have fun,
2020."
goodbye.
Thanks,
Yeah.
bye.
And then I do it over the weekend, turn in this big production for them. They kind of got better. Now their demos are like GarageBand with drum loops and.
Which he throws away, and rightly so.
No, they sound really good. They'll email me like a well done demo now.
Because of the way we make the cartoon, we wouldn't be able to include music if we didn't have a musical partner who's there all the time. It wouldn't work. If you had to send this stuff away
and he understands.
and then get it back and then make notes, it wouldn't function. And we can send this stuff off. We found somebody whose musical taste and style really blends with us, so we like everything we get back. There's very minor changes, and when there is, he's right down the road. We can call and say, "Hey, look, this isn't working for this scene. Fix this, that," and it comes back to us immediately. That makes it possible to do what we do.
Now, do you start it with character themes, or do you change it with the environments that these characters are in? Is the episode driven by the themes of the characters or by the environment?
Well, the song opportunity.
Often the setting, or at least the context, the plot context of what it is.
So if they were in a prison, what kind of music?
Well, we did like woke up this morning and the sky was gray.
Chain gang, like chain
We
gang.
did this sort of Tom Waits, Louis Armstrong chain gang type song.
That was fun.
And like we had this Stacy becoming this disco skating party thing.
Also, they wanted
Did
to
an
give me
ABBA
a
song.
song. They wanted it to sound like ABBA.
Yeah, or you want this song to sound like a 15th century madrigal. You want this to sound like an old garden storming days
But either
song. And we just sort of like say, okay, what kind of chords are those? And we do them all on the guitar, basically. Every once in a while we write something on the piano, but there's only one of us who can play the piano.
I mean, Phineas turned me into a composer because they're talking about songs which are a minute, and then there's another 15 minutes of music, which is just the underscore, and they'll temp it with whatever they want. If it's they may want it Jaws like. So by the time you're done with a show like Phineas, you become a composer because you're you have had to study on a deadline every possible style of music that there is.
But it's also not just, I mean, it's not that straightforward with us. Because we're doing humor, you don't always do a classic creepy song for a horror episode. Sometimes you're playing the humor. I remember the one that's still my favorite, one of my favorites, is we had Candace being chased all over Danville by wild animals.
Yeah.
The song we ended up writing was, It's a perfect day, it's in the mid-70s, humidity is 60%.
And the executives did not get that.
And they go, what? Is that the song you're going to use? It's like, yeah, what else would we write?
Well, we sort of got that sense when we were watching Scooby-Doo, too, because they'd be being chased around by ghosts and stuff like that, and you were hearing upbeat rhythm.
And there's something about that juxtaposition that just makes you laugh.
One of the executives one time we were saying, and then while the boys are building this supercomputer in the backyard, we'll do the song number there. And she said, "What is that song? It's not going to be called 'We're Building a Supercomputer in the Backyard,' is it?" And I said, "Well, it is now." And so we wrote a song called, and the lyrics are, "We're building a supercomputer in the backyard and singing about it in G." And the song is all about how what we're saying is exactly what's happening on screen. and she's like, "Okay, it worked." So,
it did work.
Yeah, it's very funny.
All right, so we know that there's always in every episode there's Doofenshmirtz Evil Incorporated, right?
Yes.
It's been a staple of the show.
Doofenshmirtz Evil Incorporated. Yes.
Right. Now, did you from the start? Did you plan on changing the phrase out every time you did this?
No, that was something I just sang in the editing room. It's like, we should have it like a jingle, like when we see it, we should have like a
normally
jingle.
it's just a jingle for the establishment.
It evolved into about
I called Danny
ones.
while we were in the editing room. I just wanted to go like Doofenshmirtz Evil Incorporated, and he did it with those 8 voices.
It's more like 12.
12 voices of him overdubbing.
But then he was somewhere else, and we're like, it doesn't work.
Yeah,
we're not at Doofenshmirtz, and so
Evil Annex, and then it was things like
Doofenshmirtz
holding up buckets.
My favorite was the Guild
House on a
Association.
hill somewhere. Yeah.
It was like about a paragraph.
Yeah.
They keep getting sillier. Yeah, Doofenshmirtz. Yeah.
Doofenshmirtz's ex-wife's house on a hill somewhere.
And one last question before we go. Would you ever want Weird Al Yankovic to do any one of your songs?
I would love it.
I've
met Weird Al a couple times.
A solemn honor.
Yeah,
super nice guy, and he's fantastic. But our songs are already such parody. He would, I'm not.
That would be great if he took one of our parody songs and turned
made
it into a real pop.
That would be cool.
That's his.
Call Al.
That's Al's challenge.
Take a parody song and make it a
That
real
would be
song.
great.
Okay.
Very good.
All right. Well, I want to thank you for
Sure.
joining us.
Mark,
Thank
good
you
to see
very
you,
much.
man.
It's been great. Thank you.
Welcome.
man.
Nice to meet you. Thank you.
You're gonna enjoy the Star Wars. It's on the air like tomorrow night,
Right.
and you can on demand it and Disney Watch app it already.
So how can we get it here?
We can't.
We can't really see it yet.
Yeah, no, but if you're by a TV tomorrow night at 9 or whatever it comes on, but I think it'll probably be at a party tomorrow night at 9.
My son is back at home.
Have him DVR.
Have 'em take it.
DVR.
Yeah.
It's literally, I think it's one of the best things we've ever done.
Yeah.
I think it's right up there with the Second Dimension movie and our favorite episodes.
It's killer.
And we have high opinions of our work, and
and
yet still
he-
this rate's higher.
We ended up using like 7 minutes. Is that?
We used like 6 to 7 minutes of the actual John Williams master,
Yeah.
which was like, great.
Now
And
he
then it has
has
to go to my music.
Yeah.
Who gave you that mess?
We just
Disney-
broke into the vault.
Yeah,
We just-
Disney owns it now. They can do what they want.
No, Lucasfilm,
No.
who was involved from the very early days of all this, kind of said, "Let us know what you need, and we'll go source what we can. See
I mean,
what
it costs
how
money.
much we can get you."
You know, and we had to pay for it, but it
We
was,
did get a favorable rate.
No,
and an easy
they're not
permission.
allowed. They're not allowed.
Oh, I
because
thought we got
that's
a
just
good
the
rate.
that they have.
Oh,
So
somebody
it was,
said
it
they were
was
going
a
to make
challenge.
it affordable.
It was a challenge to, stay at the level, or sound making so it didn't sound, oh my God.
Yeah, because sometimes it transitions directly from John Williams stuff into him doing
So
his
I really
John
got to
Williams
study him.
version version.
Yeah.
You don't want to go from that
compared
to the
Platypus
usual
thing.
accordion music
Yeah,
that we
which
filled
is
the show
really
with,
what we
you know.
feel great about. Says if you think about Phineas and Ferb, I could go right to the accordion.
Yeah.
Right away. You know what's going on right now is we're clowning around. We're not being serious.
That's
Why would we do that to
That's
him?
completely okay.